All right, bang, bang. It's the Rundown live from Chicago. It is Wednesday, May 11th. We're back. 2 weeks off. A lot of travel. Launching of new shows.
Told
Shout
you
out
we'd be
Saturday
back.
9.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chief told you we'd be back. WhiteSoxDave was almost gone forever, but he's here. So it's the Rundown presented by Sport Clips. Sport Clips haircuts. Expert stylists give you a champion cut that's guaranteed to impress. Sport Clips stylists are specifically trained in how to cut guys' hair. Next time you're in, ask for the MVP haircut experience, a champion haircut with neck and shoulder treatment, perfectly steamed hot towel, and 7-point massaging shampoo. Neck and shoulder treatment not available in Washington or Oregon. Sport Clips is the ultimate hair cutting experience. Not only will you leave feeling great, but you'll look fantastic too. Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair. You ever been to Sport Clips?
Mm-hmm. I have,
That's
and I got the hot towel is one of the most underrated things in the world.
The MVP experiences.
I mean, just the name alone makes me want to go back to a Sports Clip right now. I don't even need a touch-up, but when I do, I go to Sports Clip. I trust them.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. Getting that little shampoo and that MVP experience, it's nice.
Neck trimming's my favorite part.
Oh, yeah.
I've always said that if I was a billionaire, I would install one of those sinks and have somebody else wash my hair every day.
Oh, it is my favorite part of my every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's about when It pretty much, yeah, pretty much. just that 30 seconds where my barber at Sports Clips just gets nice and in there, and his hair uses his nice meaty paws, and he's massaging my scalp. I'm like, this is bliss.
That's beautiful,
I love
Dave.
it.
That's beautiful. First topic of the day, we got some NBA things here. Kyrie Irving is still crying about losing to Boston on his Twitch stream.
It's about so long y'all can say the same jokes. Oh, Kyrie, what are you doing at home? That's how y'all sound to me. Oh, what are you doing at home? Are you going to Cancun? What are you doing? Oh my God, go back to Cleveland. Oh my God, Boston hates you. Oh my God. That's how y'all sound to me, cockroaches.
WhiteSoxDave, we'll start with you.
I don't give a shit. Kyrie Irving's such a bitch. I can't stand watching him play. I mean, I know he's a fucking stud. His handle's super cool to watch and everything, but
damn.
He is such a bitch.
Sick handle.
He's got sick handles.
He does have sick
handles.
It's just funny hearing you say sick handles.
He's like a
Objective.
Dave's
not a basketball guy.
I mean that.
But real
That's how
recognize
sick his
real.
hand
But
is.
I cannot stand this guy. Like I can't watch an NBA game with him in it because I hate him so much. And with me not being a basketball guy, that shows how much I actually do hate him, because I shouldn't even give a shit about him because I don't really care about the NBA. I fucking hate this guy. I cannot stand it.
His thing is also, like, he's always been a little delusional, but him saying in the post game, being like, oh yeah, like they're a scorned ex-girlfriend. Like, no, dude, they hated you in real time. They hated you. They hated you while you're on the team. They hated you after you're on the team. They will hate you forever. It has nothing to do with like, oh, they hate you because you left. They hated you when you were there too. So because, like Dave said, he's the worst.
Carl.
You know, I agree with everybody, but for purposes of just playing just like a little bit of devil's advocate here, I agree with what everybody's saying. He's a piece of shit scumbag. But he does fall into the small category of athlete that's just so fucking talented that he can be a dick and a prick. It's like Jack Parkman. You know, like I love him in Major League 2, just like getting up there and being like, you know, the ladies love my shimmy and all that stuff. There's something about that athlete that just is like such a prick and a dick and doesn't give a fuck and is so talented that they can still go out and just like dominate a game. And Kyrie falls in that category. So I do think it is kind of cool that he's ultimately so much better. Like, he's Twitch. There's no way this guy's working on his fucking game the way, you know, like a Chris Paul would be in the offseason.
Yeah.
I just see him as like a guy who's so detached from the game, but then when he shows up, he just fucking dominates. So that's kind of cool. But he is a piece of shit scumbag, and that's...
I obviously think he's a dickhead, but I'll be honest, I didn't hate the Twitch clip. Because I think all of us and everyone who's ever worked at Barstool has sat there and read a tweet that someone sent us and had that same reaction. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're just like, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
You know, like you know, but... And I also like that he kind of played it up with the middle fingers and whatnot. But, I mean, overall, like, you reap what you sow.
But even, like, you know, the middle fingers were, like, sneaky. You know, I'd rather you do the Ryan Hartman and just give it right. If you feel that way, don't be a little bitch about it.
I don't know,
Throw
dude.
him out
the
there,
behind
take
the head
the
and
fine.
shit was
No,
pretty...
that's so...
I agree.
That's
I
such a
agree,
hockey
Chief.
guy thing to go to a hockey guy move on the middle. Of course, the hockey guy's gonna have a powerful
Yeah.
middle finger. He's skating around on the ice. He's a tough guy.
He is, but like that's like I'm gonna say it to your face.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just being like, ooh, like little, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's like weirdly like I went from like being like, all right, I'm like I don't even give a fuck what this guy does. You know, when he did all the going around the court with the fucking what was it? What's the
the
thing?
sage.
Yeah.
he was
But
having-
now, like, because it's like, all right, you're just weird. Now it's like he's almost turning heel, where it's like, all right, I'm kind of interested now.
Would you want him on the ball? I know we
No,
have Lonzo.
absolutely
Okay.
fucking not. I would want him like
Yeah,
within
keep him the fuck out of here.
anywhere close to the Bulls, like
Yeah.
nowhere close. Sorry.
Bad
I
vibes,
was
man.
passionate about
I
it.
agree. You
Yeah.
just sold me. I was
Yeah.
willing to be. No, I don't. want
No.
Maybe
what do
if
you
he was
think?
like
What?
for the Bulls, if they had maybe squeaked out a championship and he was like a hired gun for a little dynasty run.
No, he's
maybe.
he's poison.
Yeah, he does.
Maybe.
He does the opposite. I think he
Yeah.
got his ring with LeBron, and he made the big shot, and that
And he's amazing too. I agree.
Yeah.
he's
Fucking
amazing.
awesome.
He's
yeah.
amazing.
But I think he'll kill every team he's on going forward
Yeah.
forever.
That's probably true.
What'd you think about the Luka Booker thing?
I mean, the NBA just runs circles around all the other leagues right now. The drama's great. Like the storylines are great. I love it.
I love it too. I love hate. I love hate.
Mm-hmm.
I love when I hate somebody passionately. I love when other people hate each other. It makes the playoffs feel that much better, and like it gives you another reason to tune in. So I love the fact that hate is back in vogue in the NBA.
Especially like Luka is young, Devin Booker. These are young guys. There's not a lot of turnover in the NBA. These guys, like once you get in the NBA and you're fucking established, you're there 15 fucking years doing stuff. So I like the fact that we get some fresh blood, some fresh faces, and
Like the baton is about to be passed.
Yeah.
like we could be sitting here 5 years from now
Yes.
and like be like, dude, we got a Luka fucking Suns game coming up. Like it's a
Yes.
heavy hit and
And
Yes.
I do think that the NBA used to have that in spades. You know, Celtics, Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, Bulls, Pistons, Knicks, Heat, all that's the Bulls, Knicks. It's gone away with that LeBron era. I feel like
100%.
Kobe was the last guy that was like, I fucking hate everybody. And then LeBron, it was like the USA basketball cliques and like the Banana Boat gang. Like they didn't hate each other anymore. And that took some of the gas out of the playoffs. Now that LeBron has like vacated, it's more interesting because you have more teams that have a legitimate shot and they hate each other. I'm back in on the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I just it became a thing where it just became all about relationships and
Yeah.
if you're with Clutch, like you're gonna get this deal off
Yeah.
the court, and it became way more about off the court than on the court. And when you got a guy like Luka who's fucking not from the U.S.,
Yeah.
like he's just completely rogue.
Yep.
That's like that's a spice you need to
Yep.
like splash the pot. So it's great. It's
yeah,
great.
and sorry again, NBA. I just think that they're just keep doing a great job. They're on a good path. They got good player relations. I feel like Adam Silver's done. Like we always bitch about MLB and NFL and Goodell and all this stuff, and I just feel like the NBA, like they get along. They're fine. They don't give a fuck. Like just don't have a bunch of hookers in your hotel room during the
Or
during the
do.
bubble. Or do
Or do.
Or do.
right?
Yeah.
Next thing here, shifting to baseball, the Cincinnati Reds had a $3 beer, $2 hot dog night, and apparently ran out of both during the fourth inning. Carl.
I mean, honestly, I just picture like 1,000 White Sox Daves in like the outfield bleachers doing 999 challenges.
What else you got to do at a Reds game?
They're
4-4-4.
fucking.
Yeah, 4-4-4.
They're so bad.
Do you know their record right now off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, it's
4-20?
either. I was gonna say it's either 420 or 5-19.
That's
Something like
And
that.
can I
Oh,
tell
they're
you-
like going to be historically bad.
Okay, so this guy Hunter Green has thrown 18 pitches this year at 101 miles an hour or faster. Out of like 290 fastballs he's thrown, which is good for like a 5% of the fastballs he throws go over 101 miles an hour. The next closest guy in the history of Major League Baseball is like 0.2%. 101 miles an hour and over. So they've got this kid, and he in this fastball is the worst fastball in Major League Baseball. It has given up the most home runs. It has the worst slugging percentage against. Like guys are just fucking killing it.
batting practice.
Yeah. So the Reds are. It's just like even then, that's the perfect example of the Reds. Like even under these circumstances, the best is the worst. It's a tough situation if you're from Cincinnati.
They
too,
need
'cause
to
those
sell
are-
the team.
That's passionate fucking people. You have a lot going on in
Yeah.
Cincinnati. I don't know if you
It's
guys
the
have been
first
down
ever
there.
pro team.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
That could be that could be like a St. Louis baseball town, I think. I mean,
sure
same
it
market
was.
size.
Oh,
they
yeah, dude, the
I mean,
big
they
red
had the big
machine.
red
Yeah.
machine.
I
Yeah,
think
for
it is.
sure.
They just
That's like
haven't had anything
They've been
to fucking
dormant
Their
for
own
since
ownership
when did they win it?
should be
91?
ashamed of themselves.
90?
They were kicking people out for wearing bags behind their heads. Bags
Yeah.
out of their heads behind home plate.
Oh,
Now,
fuck that.
But
fuck that.
I don't know. The Reds were pretty. They have some of the worst ownership in baseball. But again, a savage move. The hot dogs when you do discount hot dogs are always different too. $1 hot dog day is different than regular hot dog day. Ed. You know that. I know that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Like you're going.
I don't blame the Reds for running out either.
Do you think they short staff just to stick it to their fans more? Because fans have been
I think
complaining
it's
so much.
well, it's like, hey, we've been having X amount of attendance for this year because we're the worst team ever. Well, let's budget it, and then people showed up and drank and ate a bunch, and like I don't know how you're supposed to predict that. So people went through the food. That's all there is.
Yeah.
They got about a $44 million payroll this year.
So bad.
How do you think their concessions are with the $44 million payroll then?
It makes me sick.
Not
cool
good.
ballpark.
It makes
Not
me
good
sick.
hot dogs then,
Yeah,
right?
no, the buns are probably stale.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wrapped in foil the night before.
Have you been there? It's actually not
I
bad.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small.
I've had if you go to ballparks, especially at the end of the year, it's a lot of the old stuff comes out. And it's just
Ooh,
you
some
could
hard
take-
buns, man. Some real hard buns
couple
around
little-
Wrigley from 2012,
Dude,
2014.
yeah.
Just tough buns.
I
Yes.
think that's why they steam the bun. That's why they to
Probably,
mask the staleness of it.
I remember going to White Sox, and it was 2017, 2016.
In like August, you probably
Yes,
got
in
yourself
August,
a stale,
like
stale
one of the
bun.
last homestands, and it was like the Todd Frazier days, and it was like you go to the fucking White Sox park, and people don't know the food's tremendous.
Yep.
You're excited. It was
Yeah.
horrible. I was like, oh fuck, they rolled out the fucking shit in the back of the closet for me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you gonna do? Tough. Cincinnati. I mean, these fucking owners, dude. Like Pittsburgh here. Like you see how the town reacted to the Bengals. You see how diehard they are for the Steelers. Like just try. And like it's gonna work out. Like it's gonna work out.
Because if
for
it
you.
does work out, the opportunity to build like a multi-billion-dollar brand. Like if the Pirates, for example, were good, like who the fuck would want to rock some Pirates gear and
Fuck
talk
yeah.
about the
1000%.
Pirates and like they're just so I don't know, they'd just be so cool.
1000%.
And like, how hard is it to win 84 games? Give your fans something as opposed to just being like, no, we're content to be one of the worst franchises in sports.
And the Reds have opportunity to be a really cool brand. I agree.
yeah.
Like
That's what I'm saying. The fan base is there. It's a good fan base.
Like I'd like
They've
to see
had
the Reds in a
history.
nice
They've
playoff
had
series.
success in the past. Obviously, times change and CBA rules and all that change. But what's
They-
Max
they-
I'm
Scherzer's
pretty
contract?
sure
It's
I
$40
thought
million.
that are they owned by a media company?
No, it's I was talking to a guy on Twitter about this
they
the other
were.
day.
No, Rob Castellini.
Yes.
Okay, he bought it from Marge Shaw.
Oh,
or
the
whatever.
one from March to
Remember her?
him. Oh yeah, I remember her.
Go read the Sports Illustrated article on that woman. That's a fucking tangent, but
Yeah.
go
Woof.
read it.
Yeah.
That's
We don't-
Unbelievable
We don't have
sports
time for
profile.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next topic here. Elon Musk says that he would reinstate Trump's Twitter. Chief, we'll start with you.
Good. I think even Jack came out and said that that was a mistake, and they tried to make a business.
Oh, did
he? Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
yeah.
that.
So Jack, that he had a couple threads about it yesterday. He agrees with Elon. Apparently, Elon's had a few missteps with this whole free speech thing, though, because he's like, well, we're going to adhere to like what the people vote for, and adhere with the law, and it's like, well. There's China, there's Saudi Arabia, so are we going to adhere with their laws on speech too?
I
So
never thought about that.
Yeah,
That's good.
so it depends on which laws he's talking about, but again,
It'd be
he hasn't
an
really.
American company technically still, though, right?
It is, but if they're going to, be
Can't do
available,
business in Saudi Arabia under American laws, though.
I don't know how that works.
but maybe you could. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
So,
okay, actually,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
probably. could.
Well, yeah, but
mind.
it's so I want it will be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think overall, if they're letting people say whatever they want for the most part, as long as it's not bots and let the best argument win. I think that's what it should be. So let him back on, and he was just funny.
yeah, no,
you know?
that's there was one. I forget exactly what they said he did or what he did do or whatever, but he just had an all caps tweet one time, and it was maybe I'll think about this randomly, and I'll just start laughing at myself. He was pissed off, and he tweeted in all caps bullshit, and I'm like, that's the leader of the free world right there on a social media
Tweeting
app.
like White Sox Dave. Fucking Guardians versus White
Yes,
Sox.
exactly,
Game
exactly.
28.
Exactly. Like,
About
to
a
me, that's
fucking-
funny.
About a bad balls and strikes call by Angel Hernandez.
Exactly.
Six-run game.
And on the more serious note, like the like liberals and the Democrats and all that, they're melting down over him coming back. I think that's the best thing for the Democratic
yeah.
Party is him coming back. to Twitter.
I would
Because now
agree.
he can just run his mouth on Twitter where the entire world sees it. If he just shut up, he'd probably have a better chance at winning should he run in 2024.
What's that expression? You give someone enough rope to hang themselves? I think that's what giving him his Twitter back.
Exactly.
Didn't he say, though, that he's not going to come back on?
He did.
Like, he has his own
He
platform?
committed to Truth Social.
Yeah.
1,000% is coming.
Do you think
back.
he has a burner?
Oh, 1,000%. There's no doubt about it.
I would love to know what his
He may
burner
not
is.
run it, but he may be like, "Hey, go tweet this off of this one." You know
That's
what I mean?
not a
Like,
bad
Well,
Trump.
do you think he scrolls Twitter? Or do you think he just goes to Twitter to talk and interact and like read his mentions after he talks?
They're like, what's this bot account?
no, I think
you
he's
know, how,
got
like,
him.
do you think he's ever on the home tab, or do you think he's just on
No.
his notifications tab, just blasting stuff out?
I think he has notifications from all of his enemies, and then he just picks and chooses where he wants to go from that day.
He's
he gets a
he's
sheet.
Portnoy.
Yeah, he gets his sheet every day with like this person said this about you. He's like, "Oh, okay."
I would just love to see him laying in bed, like lights off, just like the glow over his
the rest of
face.
us. Yeah.
just like the rest of us. Yeah, exactly. Just
Melania's like,
just
turn it off.
miserable. Like he's like, are you still in the bathroom? It's like, this guy just gets lost in the feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen.
You got anything on this?
You know, I it's cool. Whatever. Welcome back. Don't, free speech. I'm a big proponent of free speech, and I'm not like a huge government guy. I don't get the fuck out of here. This is our president. Let him be on Twitter and stop, whatever. But then, this is a weird time. It's a weird time to be in business and to be a billionaire making these decisions, and I don't know.
Let's make it less weird.
Yeah, mine. I just
Thankfully we get to sit here and like fart on each other and laugh and like not.
You farting
confront-
on us?
You know what I mean? It's like nothing too
Yeah.
serious. This is like heavy, free speech stuff. The president coming back on. I don't want to work for Twitter. Oh.
Yeah,
What do you
and this is what I assumed was going to happen once Elon bought it. Like it was like almost like a formal announcement. It was like, oh yeah, of course, like that's what you said you were going to do. Like he was like not shock. It's news, but it's not news to me.
He was non-committal about it at first.
Oh,
And
was he? I didn't know that. I
So
didn't know
and
that. I just
that might have
assumed.
been, who knows? Like that might have been like he was waiting to secure funding, secure the deal, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then before he formally commented on it. So
What
We'll
if Elon
see.
just goes off the deep end? Anybody think about this now that he owns all the stuff? Like, what if he just not this even. People are probably saying he is, but already, but. He just goes out. That's the only issue. Is like, what if this guy just completely goes McAfee style and goes to South America and starts running around and fucking.
yeah, that would be something. Shoots himself into outer space. It's more likely. Yeah.
Interesting content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next thing here, fantasy football punishment. A guy who lost his fantasy football league was punished by having to play in a U.S. Open qualifying event. He shot a 112. Carl, we'll start with you.
Having to play a U.S. Open course qualifying event against that field. I hope that this is a guy who like plays in the 80s too and was like, yeah, fine, I don't give a fuck. But it is humiliating. It's very creative. I was thinking like if we had a punishment, it would be funny if like we had to go take the LSAT or like
ACT.
something like that.
Oh God.
That would be pretty brutal. If he had to carry his own clubs too and shoot that 112 while like other professionals, because it's not even shooting the 112, it's the fact that there are guys there that are trying to qualify for the U.S. Open while you're four putting for the fifth hole in a row.
You're holding them up like municipal court.
That's got to be just that's a
Carl,
humbling
do you know anything
experience.
about those?
I
those
was questioning
qualifiers?
about that too.
Yeah, they're like regional. So the U.S. Open is open to anybody if
Right.
you have a handicap and you're registered with the USGA, and they have like low level qualifying tournaments. So this would be like an entry level,
Right.
And then the top will go to regionals or sectionals or something like
So
that.
I guess my question would be, because the U.S. Open is always known as like the most difficult playing conditions. Do they set up the qualifiers the same way? Because I'm thinking 112.
It would take too much time, but like
Okay.
they're not playing easy courses. You are
Okay.
playing from the tips. You're probably touching 7,000 yards.
Okay.
You're probably playing like if they did it in Chicago and they did it at Dubs Dread where they host like the Barstool Classic, they could make that course fucking impossible.
Yeah.
It's very easily.
It's a miserable course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golf hates this, right? They're
Yeah,
probably
but
oh my God.
Right?
I would think so, because they're going to have a big problem on their hands. Because if you notice, copying fantasy punishments has become all the rage. Like, remember that Waffle House guy? Who
24 hours or
yeah, and then
whatever.
every waffle he ate, he got I feel like I see that all the time now.
Yeah, that's not original anymore. And I think, but I would imagine like having to register yourself in a US qualifying event is like
Little more.
I think that takes some effort. I don't think you
Does he got to pay to get into this?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much?
I would probably guess $250 to $500.
Okay, so not
You probably got to pay some kind
Breaking
of
the
like
bank.
entrance fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fucking weekend golf trip.
Yeah,
right?
maybe a little
Yeah,
bit
that's
more.
what I like.
I think there are worse punishments than that. I guess.
Fuck
is-
yeah.
No, there
I
is,
hate
but
the
that's going to
golf.
become more popularized. And
Yeah.
golf's going to be even more like, oh, we got to control this.
The worst part of this guy's punishment is the fact that we're sitting here talking about him, and he's just the guy walking around like, yeah, I shot the 112.
Yeah.
Who? I mean, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. I don't like fucking teeing off. If I've only golfed like 5 times in my life. I don't like teeing off if the group behind us is at our hole.
Oh.
Like, I saw Frankie and Trent doing that with Sean Payton and Berman.
Yeah.
Would you be nervous? And
No,
you get
fuck yeah.
with people watching.
Fuck yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
I would
at my
be
club and they
because
sit
the
behind a par
expectation-
3 and guys just sit there and get hammered and they just fucking yell at you. And I had to do it last year for the first time with my dad. And I shanked a 4-iron. It went like 110 yards. And they're like, "Oh, go write a fucking blog, dude." And it's like all these retired cops and firefighters. It was just very humiliating
That's
experience.
I think I would be more annoyed if there was travel involved. Like I got to travel. Like
Yeah,
if,
yes,
it, if it was
yes.
like a close enough that you can't fly, but like I got to drive 2.5 hours to go play in this fucking thing, and that would bother me. But the 112.
Yeah, you got like little kids at home. You're like, "Hey, sorry, I gotta be
Yeah.
out this weekend," and you gotta like burn a fucking weekend.
They're
on
like,
having-
why? Fantasy football. This is why you should just not play fantasy football. I feel like anymore.
I haven't played in years.
Is it still cool?
It's fun. I mean, I still like it. I don't take it that seriously. It's more so like to keep up with old friends. You
Yeah.
know? And but I think if the people who play it in like the high stakes league, gambling kind of hurt it a lot.
Yes.
a lot. But
yeah.
fantasy football still is life. Fantasy baseball, I don't know how people still do that
Every
That's
day.
I
crazy.
can't do it.
I'm holding out on you guys. I came in last in my fantasy league this year in our punishment. I was like, yo, let's go do like before the year. I was like, what if it was just like 10-minute open mic stand up or something? And like the 11 guys in the league were like, I would rather kill myself than do that. And there's a bunch of guys that like run marathons like WhiteSoxDave. So we settled on a 10K.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can hardly run the mile.
You can finish at 10K.
And
no
you
problem.
probably would have preferred stand up.
I was begging.
Yeah.
I would rather do. Yes.
Our boy Scotty Darrells has been getting into that.
Yeah,
I don't
saw
even
that.
do. I don't even go to open mics. I'm just saying I would rather just go up there,
Wing it.
bomb.
Yeah. But it's
Bomb.
something you've probably always wanted to try.
Absolutely something
Yeah.
I've always
So,
wanted to do.
it'll
And I
force
still,
you
you
to
know
do
what?
it.
Maybe I will do it someday,
Yeah,
Ed.
maybe.
Maybe.
Last topic here: a beach house. There was a viral clip of a beach house in North Carolina. It collapsed and it floated away. Chief, you're our newest homeowner, so what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, my house got set on fire on day 3 of living there, so I can relate a little bit. It was like the opposite of that movie Up, like where it just takes off in the balloons. Like that house is going to the bottom of the ocean. The crazy thing to me was that it was valued at like,
400,000. Yeah.
but it was
Almost 4,
abandoned.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was abandoned.
That
so.
shit happens all the time. There's like fucking shacks and like empty lots in San Francisco.
Yeah.
They're like 1.2, and it's like what?
What are we doing?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
White Sox Dave.
Kind of cool video. I mean, glad there's no people or dogs in there.
You're a beach house, shore house guy, Ed.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think, but I think unless if that looked like the water was riding pretty high,
Yeah.
that land is still whoever owns that. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
They're fucking put a new property on there. They'll be good to go.
I've always thought those houses on stilts were just cool. Like,
Really?
you
These
guys-
ones don't look
Yeah.
very safe.
That's
though.
just like
They're
when you see a
fuck
house
yeah.
on stilts, you're just like, okay, what the fuck is
Yeah,
coming
it's like,
through here?
well, let's get one case of water because carrying 2 up that motherfucker will be too much. You know.
I feel
That's
like
what I
that's
think.
what you're putting. You're putting like dry food
You gotta
in
have, like-
storage in
yeah.
case some crazy shit happens.
But like what he's saying, like I feel like if you're investing in that, you gotta put a pulley system up for groceries. Like you're just sitting under
Yeah,
it,
you
you park your
fucking-
car and just wheel it up into the kitchen.
Huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
All right, after show. Anybody got anything? White Sox Dave, anything new?
Not particularly, Ed. What do you got for us?
I've got nothing really. And
I think
Anyone?
everybody's kind of
Chief, Carl?
hashed out the Marty Motion Rhea. I would just like to go on the record is ain't my business. I'm not going to comment.
Yeah.
Isn't that in a way going on record though?
Not really. I thought I was going to say this
he was
actually.
going on record. It's not my business.
The Kelly in Vegas, she was in Costa Rica, I think she said. She's like, I don't give a shit. Like
Costa Rica. That
she
must
had
be
she had a
nice.
Twitter video yesterday or day before.
Addressing it in a video.
Yeah, it was like a 10-second
Oh,
video.
really?
She's like, yeah, here's my stance. I don't give a fuck who's fucking each other at Barstool. I'm going to get drunk. And I'm like,
Wow, it's
co-signed.
Relatable.
Last night in Costa Rica, it's golden hour. I don't care who's fucking each other at Barstool. I'm getting drunk.
Anybody? I mean, yeah, I think yesterday's Dave Portnoy show kind of is,
Yeah.
you know,
it's out there. I guess I was
That's the
confused by like the Whitney part where I didn't. I mean, we're on an island. We're not there very much, but having Glennie Balls tell Whitney that everybody's fucking everybody in that office, I was like, really?
There's a lot of moving and shaking going on.
Apparently, yeah. It was,
It's a horny.
Yeah.
It's a horny content floor.
Don't shit where you eat, Ed.
White
Don't
Sox
shit
Dave is a
where
big
you eat.
proponent of that. This aside, even before this was a thing, White Sox Dave has been saying that for years.
But White Sox Dave comes from an industry before where there was a lot of shitting and eating.
That's all it was, and I completely removed myself from all of that. Partially, it was partially because like everybody knew the whole Barstool thing back in my old job, and partially because that's where I work. Like, if you mix the two, it's gonna you're gonna.
It happens. I had a girlfriend that I met at the office. We dated for like 6 years, off and on. You met her.
Wow.
Dave met her. This is like I think.
I remember.
Yeah. This is so it.
To you, if one of those coworkers, Dave, came up and it's late, no one else is there.
Nope,
Dave, I bought you a Grizzly tin, and like
I would take the tin. I'd be like, "Thanks. You want to throw in a hog?"
do
And
me,
that'd
do
be
me
it.
on your debt. You wouldn't you'd say
Nope.
no.
100%.
Interesting. He's a man of values. Gotta appreciate.
I mean, it never ever works out in a good way. It never does.
It's
ever,
sweet
ever,
romance.
Ever,
It's
ever.
like office romance is like
that. Can't say that, but
yeah.
But even then,
sometimes it does work out.
okay.
Yeah.
Say hypothetically, you met a girl at the office and you get married. You're with her 24 hours a day.
No, they got.
That'd be
Once
miserable.
you get married, you gotta leave the job. You guys can take different jobs. I just can't be going to work all the time. A lot of
Exactly,
people,
that's-
you meet at work. A lot of people meet at work. Dave.
Yeah, that's very common.
But
Fair.
Usually the relationship usually forces it where it's like, all right, I'm taking another job or something like that.
question: would you want a girl, Dave? And this is completely opposite from work relationship, but would you want a girl who was like super into the White Sox like you?
I wouldn't give a shit.
No,
No.
Wouldn't that like?
But she'd have to be cool with him going to lot, or she'd have to be cool going to lot B and hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
But what
I
if she
think
was
that's
like-
just like a standard requirement. That part of it.
What if
Yeah,
she
but-
was? What if she was like Jerry Reinsdorf's doing the right thing, like LaRussa, like give him
That's
time?
where I start to draw. That's where I start to draw lines.
How many women in this world would even say
Yeah,
that
I mean
authentically?
that I have.
I'm sorry.
I don't have many morals, but that's one of them where I'm like, whoa, this ain't gonna work, toots.
They would like he could be like totally head over heels in love, but he would be like he
Oh,
would
man.
not hold back because he
Yeah,
can't.
because she was like, the Lurie Garcia contract's one of the smarter deals Ricon's given out.
Yeah.
He's
But
getting
I
mad just
am.
at the
I am.
hypothetical.
I am.
Yolmer Sanchez has always been a guy who didn't get a fair shake. Like there's
Yeah,
You
Dallas
got
Keuchel
all the
can-
fair shakes.
Dallas
talking
Keuchel can
about?
give you 6 innings in October, Dave.
All right, we gotta change the
all
subject.
right. We'll
Stop the show.
We'll cut us out there. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next Wednesday. Last day of the rundowns tomorrow. We'll see you next Wednesday.